Hello. Hello. Thank you, UHM, for all of your delicious food and goodies. Those cupcake, whatever they're called. There needs to be a law against them things. They're what? They're buntinis. Y'all notice the two that I stole and put up here, so y'all didn't eat them all. All right. Welcome to team meeting. Let's start off with bucket fills, gratitudes, wins. Cindy.
Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been in this business a long time. And that document that Mary sent us for our taxes was the bomb. Like, can we just not like have a major, like the amount of time that she put that together, because it immediately, that DA, like I had something happen with my accountant and it was solved within minutes because of that document. So I just thank you. Kudos.
I learned that Mary has done that at every firm she's been at. She implemented it here and it seems to be a hit. So thank you so much, Mary. What else? Who else? Gratitudes, wins, bucket fills.
I don't see Chris, but I'll bucket fill her anyway for all her questions she answers. I don't think Chris is here, but if she is or can hear me. Yeah, just want to let her know I didn't ask the most questions. She gets a ton of questions and answers all of them for everybody.
Chris is fantastic. Chris is coming back from Raleigh, I think.
Yeah.
Good, good. Who else? Anybody? Pete. I love seeing y'all.
I'd like to thank Karen Ward for helping me through a long short sale.
I hear Karen Ward is getting some crazy good traction in her coaching with her people and growing. And so who else? Laura.
I just want to say thank you to all the instructors we've had for Ignite. It has been so wonderful and I've learned a lot. So thank you for your time.
If you guys have not met Laura Brambila, she is one of our new agents and she is getting ready to take over the world. She is awesome. Who else? Anything? Going once, going twice. All right. Next up, video. Let's start it where we can hear it.
It is ridiculous.
So that's how you are the true fiduciary to all your clients. For instance, we used to do this thing called Blue Investment System, and we have these buildings and we call them libraries. You will go in and you would look for the carbon catalog. And all that did was direct you where to find the book you were interested in. Well, as a leader in our marketplace, as a top agent, you want to think of yourself as a carbon catalog as well. So helping your clients, whether it's investing in real estate, you did an REI, or you want to help them build wealth. We have several programs to help them build their wealth. But most importantly, it's making sure they know that you're attending education and training to be the best realtor you can be, and there is no better event than family reunion. We can't wait to see you there. There are still tickets available. We hope you come join us. Have a great month.
Family reunion. Who in here? Is Is this on again? Is mine back on? Maybe not. Is this back on? Is this mic back working again? Can y'all hear me? Ah, Mark's like haunting everybody. All right. Career night that's tonight. It is tonight. Well, better call Leah and tell her I'll be home late. So career night tonight, 6 to 7. If you have forgotten, it is a K-Score program where we provide, we pay for the pre-licensing online, self-paced for anybody that wants to do it. So if you have anybody looking to get in the business, you can, Daniel can help them enroll. They come to career night, learn about Keller Williams and all that other good stuff. That will be tonight from 6 to 7 if you have any last minutes. I don't know how to click the button, Daniel. Ignite, 4 more sessions, including graduation. I guess that would be Friday's the next one? No, tomorrow's the next one. Yep. So February 8th, 9th, and 13th. And it is going fantastic. Per the Ignite students, they're loving it. Glad you asked. Thursday, February 9th with Jason Scott. All this is on the calendar. Hillsborough team meeting February 14th. That is next Tuesday. Wind down Wednesday in Burlington, February 27th. It will start at 4:30 in the normal lounge area. Make what? Make sure you come. Special surprise. Oh, gosh. I'm gonna need some further intel on that. Look. Little Cupid. All right, Danielle. There's something new. We might be onto something there. Danielle Miller. So campaigns. Actually, you talk about this for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
So let me tell you. Let me tell y'all about that headshot. It was on the front wall, and then Daniel comes in. I said, "You've got like 10 minutes to crispy up and retake this dadgum picture." I'm like, "That is the creepiest photo I've ever seen in my life." And then Daniel got his photo redone, so we're pleased. Tell them about campaigns.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to be doing our next training on the books is March 1st. We're going to be doing on campaigns after we had as much of a success as we did with the webpage class, which anybody who missed the webpage class, you can still go back to YouTube and watch that. I really hate working 2 mics at the same time, by the way.
You're doing good at it.
It's really bad. Anyway, no, so campaigns is another fantastic tool that's in command that a lot of people are not utilizing to its fullest. So I just wanted to throw together a class that we'll be doing March 1st. There'll be a workshop. So make sure to come down, bring your laptops, come join us, and let's campaign.
And hey, welcome to my, is my mic off again?
Oh no, I had to turn you down.
All right, well, turn me back up. And by campaigns, we're talking about marketing campaigns, social media drip campaigns, all of the campaigns. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, the 201 plus. Yeah, equals to when those 201 plus contacts are put on a campaign, that person through command averages $119,000 of revenue. Which is cool because if we're being honest, how many of us, this transparent, no judgment, like how many of us do not have 201 full contacts, name, address, email, telephone number in command? So here's the cool thing. Look at your current income this also means if you get to the 201 plus, you're going to be adding 119,000 to what you're already making without it. Does that make sense? So it's very cool. Dollars. All right, Union Home Mortgage. Y'all talking about food still. It's y'all's time. Thank y'all for the delicious food.
Dynamic duo.
Well, lunch today, we're, obviously sponsors, so we appreciate everybody. It's from DaVinci's, in case anybody was wondering, and then our cute little buntinis, which you have to say that pretty slow. You could really mess that up if you weren't careful. You can see we're missing some folks today. Rhonda Mascarella's father-in-law passed away. So Michelle and Allison we split up and double teamed. So they're with Rhonda at the funeral, and Lisa had another appointment that kind of did a conflict. So Teresa and I are going to kick it for you today. You got our.
By the way, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
everyone.
Valentine's month.
Yeah.
The love month. Okay, you want to do this one? And I'll
yes,
do the.
I do. All right, as we all know, the market is changing, shifting from what we were seeing a year ago. And we're seeing a lot of individuals come back for pre-approvals again, pre-qualifications. We're reaching out to some of our old clients who were not competitive in the market before that may be now. And some of the benefits of the current market is the seller paid, possibly seller paid closing costs. We are seeing that again, and lower down payment or lower due diligence. I just got one for $3,000 due diligence, which is wonderful compared to what we were seeing. You got 500? Amazing. So, the seller can still buy down the rates for the borrowers if they can do that versus lowering the purchase price, because we don't want to send our market into a down spiral with all lower incomes or lower purchase prices hitting the market all at one time. So if that does become an issue, definitely talk about seller pays for down payment assistance. For down payment, for buy down of their interest rate or to help pay for the closing costs and so forth. The seller paid improvements, of course, that counts towards the maximum, the 6% or 3%. So if you've got someone needing some improvements to their homes as far as carpeting, wall painting, we can't use it as an incentive to purchase, but we can use it as a seller pay closing cost so that they can purchase their own carpet and pay for their own painting. A lot of homes now are selling for less than purchase price, and at this point, there is not necessarily a need to waive the appraisal. So we may still be getting some appraisals where it's not necessary if our system warrants it. And typically that's on homes where an individual's putting down 20% in a conventional mortgage. All government homes will require an appraisal no matter what. So if we've got someone putting 20% down, that's one of the first things that we still look at to see if that appraisal can be waived. That way there is no appraisal contingencies or anything on that mortgage for them. And no need to waive the inspections. We see that a lot of individuals before where inspections were not being done, now they are. Contingencies on contracts, the contingencies, we are seeing some contingency still as far as they have to sell one house before they purchase the other home. Access for first-time home buyers, which we have not seen in a couple of years, is now coming back to market. Speaking of first-time home buyers, the city of Greensboro, I have a class with them on Thursday. City of Greensboro has released that they are increasing their $10,000 down payment assistance to $15,000. And they can go in third lien position behind North Carolina Housing. So the only money that the borrower has to put into the transaction with City of Greensboro is $500. That is a requirement. That is not Guilford County, that is the city. I'm waiting for all the details because they just had their meeting about it. And they're opening up the training sessions to all the lenders right now for us to find out what the new caveats are. Before, they did not have a minimum credit score. I do believe now they do. And it's either 600 or 620. I'm not sure which one until I'm on that training column on Thursday. So $15,000, it's payable or due back to the city if you move within the first 5 years. But it is decreased by 20% every year for the first 5 years. So if they live there for 1 year, get relocated, they are going to have to pay 80% of that back. If they live there for 5 years, which most first-time home buyers in years past have done, then it's free money to them, 15,000. Yes, ma'am. There is a class and they can take that class online. It's through Zoom and it is an 8-hour class. And they have their own training that you have to go through. They used to charge for that class, but I had no people in the past that would refuse to pay $75 for that class to get $10,000. So now I can't imagine. For the agents, they like for you to, but you don't have to. As long as you're working with a lender that knows the process, because it is a process and it does take longer to close. You're looking at probably 45 to 60 days to close because City of Greensboro will not accept the package, the loan approval, until we have complete approval. So probably around day 15 or 21 with Union Home Mortgage is when we send it to the City of Greensboro. Sorry. That's when we send it to the City of Greensboro and everything has to be in there. We're talking title work, appraisal, pre-CD, everything. And they take at least 10 days and then they take a few more days for them to cut the check to us. And the check must be picked up by either the lender or the agent. They will not release it to anyone else. Yes. This is the one caveat with the City of Greensboro. They do require a home inspection. So if this home is not going to pass an FHA inspection, it's not going to pass the City of Greensboro inspection. So they will look at the inspection report because it is required, and they just are looking for things that are safety issues. You know, they're okay with the carpet, it's got stains on it. They're okay with there's marks all over the walls, but they're not okay with missing handrail. They're not okay with the fact that the heat's not working. All that makes sense? Okay. Hopefully that will help you guys get some more listings and or more buyers from first-time home buyers.
Okay, so that was the upside. There's a little bit of a downside. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac government is at it again. And for Freddie Mac, starting March 7th and Fannie Mae starting April 1st. And these would be loans that are going to be delivered to them. So we're going to have to do the cutoff in about March, end of February, 1st of March, depending on the investor. They're going to start giving a hit to the pricing on a rate for anybody whose debt to income is over 40%. There's not that currently. So some of those people who are with those higher debt to incomes are going to be either they're going to have additional closing cost and just on an average of about $1,250 because of the hit to the rate, or they would have to go up in rate to avoid the hit. So there's a way around it, but it is going to either cost them more in rate or cost them more in closing costs. And it's the federal government and there's not anything that we can do about it. And it's across the board, it's every lender is going to have to pass that on to the buyers. So if you've got anybody that's on the fence about, well, do I want to buy a house? Do I not want to buy a house? If they can find a house and they're in that lower debt to income, it might be a good idea to push them to try to go ahead and make a decision and try to get a house before that gets imposed and save them some money or save them some rate. Any questions about any of that? Next slide. There you go. We're at 6%, 5 1/4 on 15. And then VA and FHA are 5.625.
I will tell you, our second homes and investment properties is in the 7% right now. 7.625.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more you put down, on an investment property or a second home, the rate is better than if you did an 80%. That's,
You do anything less down.
Investment, we have 15% down. payment.
yes, I'm sorry. Yes, 15% down.
But of course, the PMI is not pretty. So if they have 5%, we certainly encourage it. But if not, and their, cash flow that's coming in would cover that PMI, then go for it. 15% down. Anything else?
No other questions?
Thank you all very much. Feel free to reach out.
Okay, we forgot one thing.
Yeah.
Everybody reach under your chair.
You might have to turn it over. Anyone got a heart?
It's a red heart. Yay, we got one. Okay. If there's not one under your chair, look to the chair to your right. Oh, okay. Yay, we got him.
Yay, go Joe Don, Team Joe Don, yay.
Thank y'all.
Jason Scott. You are up, sir.
So thank you all for the Union Home ladies. We certainly appreciate you all always helping us out. Couple of things happy Black History Month as well. So we celebrate next month is Women's History Month, and we'll be hitting all of the months that any minorities are recognized. So current issues I'm seeing that I need to have some real conversations with you about upfront, honest. Hashtag KW Central has to be on your post. I'm seeing lots and lots and lots of marketing and checklists and posts and links and stuff, and I'm not seeing KW Central. That is not a Jason rule. That is a commission rule. So sometimes you'll even see me put it in your comments if I don't see it. And that is a subtle hint. You need to put it there too. No. You need to do it. Edit your post. Yes.
So this is just for like marketing things, like real estate, direct real estate related, right?
Yes. Like if I had lunch at Da Vinci's, I don't have to hit KW Central. But if I said, we had a meeting today with the Union Home ladies, blah, 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 and we talked about rates, KW Central. So to help. Yes. Correct. So disclose. This year, if you've not taken your CE or your BIC up, you've got until June 10th. So I warn you for that already. We're in March. It's quickly coming. You all need to be taking those classes now. I would recommend you, as they change July 1st, take it as quick as you can. It's kind of silly for you 9 months after the rules changed. So you've been practicing malpractice. So don't practice on your clients, practice in class early. So if it's a material fact and it's been repaired, do you have to disclose it? Say yes and yes. And you can put it in agent comments, private comments, and the date it was repaired. Okay, when it was repaired. You can attach an invoice to the attachments. I'm trying to help cover you in case of situations that we are seeing. There was a leak and we had somebody that went Facebook stalking and found a dishwasher that leaked all through the house, and it was posted. Look at all this water damage. We had the insurance company came in, blah, 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 da, 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 new floors, new this. They didn't disclose that because, oh, it was fixed. No, you need to tell when. I see y'all popping up and I saw your face, Beth. That your face looks like it hurt, like you were thinking about it. Yes. Yes. Not at this point. Yeah, I mean, if you know about it and they disclose it to you, right? If they tell you about it, you have to disclose it, even if it's a repair. What you're seeing is folks getting taken to suits and to the commission for this. So it is purely to protect you. Yes. They don't know. I mean, that wouldn't, change of hands wouldn't, you, if it was damage to the home, a new dishwasher is not a material fact. If there was damage because of a dishwater, that is a material fact.
Kind of a pet peeve of mine, but we're seeing a lot of listings, whether they're investor owned or the seller puts no representation on
Yes,
the residential property disclosure. Is listing agent's responsibility, if there is a seller that says no representation, or even if it's an agent that is an investor themselves
yes,
that are putting no representation. It's up to the listing, it was obligation of the listing agent to come up because it's what you should reasonably know.
reasonably no, yeah.
So the listing agent needs to file or upload a disclosure document. To keep themselves, yes, out of liability.
Yep.
Because if you're just relying on yourself, oh, it's no representation.
Yeah, no rep is not clean enough. If you're an agent, correct, you are not covered as an agent if a homeowner says no rep to everything or an investor. What happens then is legally to the commission, and what you're held accountable to is what you should reasonably know. So if you poke your head and shoulders into the attic and see a leak, you should reasonably know that. If you see crawl spaces can't be accessed because it's so low, you should reasonably know that. If you see water damage or stains or cracks, or you should reasonably know that as an agent. And we're seeing it more and more. And again, is Peggy here today? I saw a listing agreement from the state of Massachusetts that was 2 pages. Currently, like now, and ours is like 11 or 12, right? So it's to protect you in case something happens like this. So that's why all that's out there. Yes. What we're seeing now is they're crying foul. Like, I didn't know. Nobody told me. I didn't understand. And we're seeing suits and comebacks and all kinds of things. Yes, Tammy.
Yes, no, no representation. Heirs, children that never leave the house, or this is on that, can choose no representation.
They can.
They still can say no representation.
They can. Yeah, I mean, if it's something you should reasonably know, don't. I mean, don't not poke your head around. Do poke your head around because you could be held liable for it. So I don't know who that is. No, I'm just kidding.
What our duty is, like she coached us frequently, don't go in the crawl space, don't look in the attic, like stick to what you know, because you don't want to open yourself up for misrepresentation and things like that. Like, don't take a flashlight, don't take a moisture meter.
I will never tell you that. Yeah, that's not what I would share with you as direction. So how about that? Well, trainer timeout. Whoa, trainer timeout.
Not expected to go in the crawl space as a listing agent.
Right.
You've got a 100-year-old home with a seller that's got a no representation on it. You would reasonably know that there's probably going to be some issue that needs to be checked out.
You might poke your head in to see if the insulation's falling or standing water this time of year.
The house, but she was very adamant, like you don't coach your client,
Yeah.
say things, you don't represent yourself in any manner, like.
And And don't do that with telling them to fill it out. That I'm okay with that. They need to fill it out with their own personal information, how they feel, what they know, that kind of thing. Are you held liable for what they say? Yes and yes sometimes, and it depends on what you know. Like if I see a water stain in the ceiling, that's probably from a roof something. Or if I see paint color that's different all in one section, something probably caved in from upstairs in the bathroom. I'm going to ask, hey, did something happen here? I need to know that. And someone buying your house needs to know that. So I would not give you that direction. So how about that? Due diligence. Yep, I will. Due diligence. Lots of folks saying, I did not know it was refundable. I didn't know what it was. They didn't explain it to me. I didn't, yeah, it is refundable in the current contract. It is refundable if they, there's a material fact that the seller knew about that they did not disclose. Yeah, if you have an attorney drafted it. Yeah, attorney drafted it. So just make it clear that you follow up in writing due diligence. I would shoot an email. So you say, hey, just as per our conversation on the phone, you know, due diligence is non-refundable a majority of the time. So the other thing, 3 years, keep all your communication. That's your files, your emails, your text. I would do screenshots of text or PDF of text, whatever that may be. We've had to go back 9 months to find text on something that was going on since I came on. And they actually had to go to a provider to say, hey, can you find my text? So because we've had to prove a conversation that we've had or cover our agent from something that was encountered. So please keep those things. I know it's real casual to shoot a text and say, you know, blah, 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 answer the question, but follow it up with an email if you're not going to do the text thread and say, per my text, blah, 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 blah. So those are some biggies. Hey, just some side notes. The luncheon is Thursday for Baycar. That is at the Best Western over across town. And I'm your vice president right now and president-elect. So I'd like to see a bigger KW participation. So I'll say that and be honest with you. I also am in charge of programming this year. So the meeting topics are what I put out there for the most part. So if you want to see something, you have a direct link on what you want to see. I think we should bring more value and more content that you can utilize for your businesses. So you will see those things. Tomorrow, Thursday, you're going to see Dr. Toddy Peters from Elon, and she's going to speak on the Burlington Land Trust. And that's been here, but it's going to be up and running. Chloe's on the board of directors for that. So it's basically a protected area of land that you can't sell it for more than a certain value over time. So it's protected for lower income and first-time home buyers and those folks that can't all of a sudden be robbed because of high prices. So the land trust, she's going to speak to that, as well as the history of redlining in Alamance County. So, and she's going to be specific about some Alamance history. So we appreciate that. I'm glad you asked. It's going to be between family reunion and I'm on sabbatical for a few days. Glad you asked. It's going to be social media pitfalls. That is a recorded message from NC Realtors. So enough of me.
Thank you. Hello. Danielle.
Yeah, fucking yeah. There fucking goes. All right, everyone. So mine's going to be more just a kind of general coverage of things going on. One, of course, KW is very much pushing Command lately, obviously. I know a lot of people started with Command whenever Command first started and hate it with a passion, and understandably considering the growing pains that were with it. But so much time and money and research and just development in general have gone into Command to make it much better. So if you are somebody that's kind of on the fence on going back to command, or if you tried command when it first came out and you're just like, oh man, I'm never putting another contact in there except to get my paycheck. Give it another whirl. Here's just a little video from someone who did exactly that.
The last year has proven to me that command has really become an amazing tool. I had a lot of anxiety about moving the entire database. We have about 3,500 people in there. My admin accomplished it in like half an hour without any hiccups whatsoever. All of the tags came over beautifully. All the information came over beautifully. I'm one of those agents that I live within my database. If I'm working, I am either on my laptop in command or on my phone in command. The thing I really love about the mobile app is it's an essential part of me working in the field. I go and show a client a house. Immediately upon saying goodbye, I'm in the app. I am making sure that all of their contact information is in there. If there is something that I need to do for them, in the old days, I used to send myself an email, or I used to, jot something down on a piece of paper. Now I'm just doing it as a task within command, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when we talk about the number of things we do as realtors every single day, any second we can save is really essential. One of the other things that I really love about the command app is the ability to go in and take a quick look and see who's been looking in the consumer app in the last day or even in the last hour. That is something that has become an unexpected part of my daily routine. And it's actually the best part because it lets me know without question who I need to talk to as soon as possible that day. I would really suggest just start working within command. They have developed a fantastic ecosystem that is a pleasure to work in. I couldn't possibly be happier with the database. Please give it a try.
Okay, so when did Tom Arnold start working for?
And just to piggyback on that. So what has happened over the last, I'd say 6 to 12 months intensely is they have dumped millions of dollars into sophisticating command. What they did is, and I'll get this spreadsheet for you to actually show you. What they did is they started interviewing top agents that were not using it and saying, why are you not using it? And what do we need to put in it for you to use it? And now they have taken every CRM that's available to you out there. You've got all the boom towns and all the whatever you call them. Yeah, all those. And they said, they've lined them up. They've got a list on one side of 250 tasks. And then they have the CRMs on the top of the grid. And there's check marks going down and says, does this CRM do this task? And they do it all the way through all 250. And at this point, what they have done is taken everything that another CRM can do that command can't do and made it do it. So now command is the most sophisticated CRM that you can have in the real estate market. Hands down. Everything. And they have the statistics to prove it, which I will get and show you because we already walked through it. So now where the pains are is the integration. People are like, I just don't want to switch. And I'm like, which is fine. But understand switching all of that information over, like he said, and Daniel can verify this, switching over everybody from one CRM to another can be done in less than a half hour. Very quick. So go ahead.
The last.
Right. I was working on that. I've been practicing that for seconds now. So with that vein as well, there are a lot of resources available if you do want to look into, building your business more on command. Of course, I'm here. There's also many courses, many of which are for free. The one that we would highly suggest to kind of start with is the build $100,000 pipeline in 90 days. That's available on KW Connect. If anybody wants to grab the barcode, feel free, but also, again, KW Connect. You can go to this course and many, many, many others. And I'll wait for the phones to go down before I continue on. More phones are going up. That's actually a good thing. Everybody have it ready? And if for some reason you do miss it, again, just KW Connect. You can go to this and many, many other trainings. Another thing, there are a lot of resources outside of like the official tools that are available. There's of course books, and there's podcasts, and there's Facebook groups. We're going to work on putting a list of these, compile them all together. I know quite a few meetings we've had like, hey, everybody join this group, everybody join that group, and then kind of dwindles out quickly. So I'm going to try to compile a nice list to just kind of keep with the maybe the week ahead newsletter or something like that. So anybody that's like, hey, what was that group that they were talking about? You'll be able to join it. An example of the podcast, there's a nice little one, Think Like a CEO, has a new season. If you're not familiar with it, here's the trailer.
The best way to approach coming disaster is to lean into it and through it. And that way they just get through the other side faster. That's right. In a recession, don't have a recession mindset. You can go really negative really fast. Change is inevitable. Participation is optional. And it's actually where all the opportunity is too. That's right. Charge this one.
That's how long all of his podcasts are too. Exactly that length. They are. They are. So. Oops. This is those really give me props.
Those podcasts are awesome.
And then again, same vein, School is Cool is a really nice program that Jason Abrams has been doing. It's a Zoom call that you can join in on Thursdays 1 to 2. You can also find it if you do a Google search, or if you pull up the barcode, or however you want to, you can find more information on that. And I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and switch back over to Andy here.
My turn. All right. So first of all, raise your hand if you have Facebook on your phone. Cool. Pull up that first slide. Right now, pull up your phone and find this page. Wealth Building 2.0. And just follow it. This was created by a president of KWRI, Mark King. And the coolest part about it is every Friday morning from 8:30 to 9:30, he is on there live, doing a Facebook Live, something regarding wealth building from 8:30 to 9:30. I've been on it. I started on it 2 weeks ago, and it is mind-boggling the stuff that he is sharing through his wealth journey. And if you didn't know, Mark King is hog nasty, stinking rich. So, and he lost everything. He was what, $6 million in debt. And now he's getting it done. So that's number one. Number two, I started after the conversation I had with him this past Friday. We started talking on bank accounts, and as he walked through it, I said, we have more, 50% more commission flowing out of this market center than any other company anywhere close to this area. So we're doing a super high volume of commission. What if, not only that, but what if we had the most financially competent agents in the real estate market? What would that change? Stickability, number one, is what I thought about. I'm like, because let's be transparent. 97% of agents that leave a firm do so because one, money gets tight, and they go hunting for the magic bean. Raise your hand if you agree. Okay, yes, there's culture, there's somebody pissed me off. Yes, there's that stuff. Let's put that in the other 3%. 97%, it's lack of work or lack of knowledge of what to do with their money when they make it. Okay. So what I did is I'm going to share with you, and I've got a printout for you to take with you. That's going to be a review of this. But in this book, it's called, has anybody ever read The Millionaire Next Door? It's a great book. In here, it says, we spend very little time managing personal finances. A recent research report by the American Psychological Association on stress finds 72% of Americans feel stressed about money some of the time. Raise your hand if you stress about money some of the time. And over a quarter, 26% of Americans feel stressed about money most or all of the time. That'd be the rest of them. Another question. How long could the average American household survive? This is you. How long could the average American household survive economically without a monthly check? So hypothetically, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, you sell 0 houses. How long do you last? Perhaps a month or two, in most cases. Without Social Security benefits, almost 1/2 of Americans over 65 would live in poverty. And here's what's going to lead me into this. America is still the land of opportunity. Over the past 30 years, I have consistently found that 80 to 85% of millionaires are self-made. There is a pride, joy, and satisfaction to be derived from building one's own fortune. Countless millionaires have told me that the journey to wealth is much more satisfying than the destination. When they look back over their history of building wealth, they recall constantly setting economic goals and the great happiness gained from achieving them. Yes, in the context of economic achievement, it is the trip, the journey to financial independence, about which the millionaire next door most often boasts. So, what we're going to talk about is 5 accounts. Take as much notes as you want. I'm going to give this a take with you. There's 5. You don't have to listen. This is not me saying, number one, I'm not a financial advisor. All right. Second, this is absolutely freaking brilliant, what Mark King shared. This is how he operates every dollar that comes in his life. So what do you think the first account is? No. Simple, checking. Mark says that 100%, listen, there's S Corps and C Corps and LLCs and all this stuff. That's a different conversation. This is just an overview, see how it works. He's 100% of every dollar that he makes from anywhere or anything goes into one bank account. And it is this checking account. Who cares what the interest is? It does not matter. Everything flows into here. This is your sales. This is your rental income if you have an investment property. This, if you get a tax check somehow coming back, everything that comes in goes there. Loud and clear? What is the second bucket? Say it louder. Taxes. As it comes in, every single time a deposit happens here, he immediately puts 25% here. Okay? This is a savings account. And by my personal example, does anybody have a cash account that is growing at 4% right now?
I think I've got one at like 3.5.
All right, pull up the next slide. Anybody ever heard of Lending Club? I just created this account and it works. It's free. There's no charges. There's no monthly fees. It's drawing 4% APY. and you can transfer freely from your bank account into here and from here back into your bank account. And it costs you nothing. Okay? Huh? Unlimited times. I think the limit's like 250 grand a month.
I mean, how many transfers? It says receive unlimited external.
Yeah. So if you want one of those, that's where it goes. Okay? Do that. 25%. Now, what you're going to see happening, what's going to happen when you put your tax money in there? It's going to start what? It's going to start accruing interest. So now essentially you're going to be paying, you're taking more of the government's money back from them. Make sense? What is the third account? Were you on this call? Personal expenses. Now, to have a personal expense account, you also need a what? A freaking budget. So if you don't have a budget, this is step number one before any of this happens. Okay? Now, this is personal expenses. Don't mix business in with it. This is your house. This is your car. This is your food. This is your hair. You gonna give that example? This is anything personal. This is your Christmas list. This is your anything personal. Childcare. All right. Right. So that's personal expenses. Huh? No. I'm just saying, no, that's not. Oh, this is the third account. Fourth account. No. Business expenses. This is also both of these are also checking accounts, and the interest does not matter because money is constantly flowing out. Okay. The fifth bucket investment account. Again, I would suggest, I don't suggest, this seems like a fantastic option as well. 4%. Now, what is the maximum this can get up to be protected by the FDIC? 250,000. So here's the objective here. What we do is we have, let's say we have a month and we close. Can I use you for an example? Do you mind, Joe? Yeah. How much do you have under contract to close this month? What you told me yesterday. Are you okay with sharing what your commission check total should be from that 1.1 million? Somewhere around $30,000.
No, yeah.
It's a great example. So let's say $30,000, okay? So what we have is Joe is going to have $30,000 going into this account, okay? Automatically, he's cutting $7,500 and going here, right? What is his personal expenses for the month of March? Let's call it $5,000. Okay, so now we're at 12,500 that he's paid out. How much is it going to cost to operate your business in the month of March? I don't know. Let's call it $2,000. Now we're at 14,500. So right now, Joe's got a decision to make. He's got $15,500 left over. Okay. Now Joe can ask himself, do I have debt? What do I have going on? Right. Or Joe can say, screw it. I'm putting it all there. Okay. Without this intentionality, people don't want to take the time to create these two and sure don't like planning for this. And therefore, what happens is we have all of this money coming in here and we get to the end of 2023 and what do we say? Where did it go?
Get the Brandon Green, you have to pay your taxes.
Yeah. And you don't have money for blank, you don't have money for blank. Where did it all go? Like I made $137,000. Where is my money? What you'll find here is you'll start, if you do it this way, you'll start finding your money. Okay. Now, I started doing this. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't create this one. I've created this one. I've created this one, that one, obviously, and I've created this one. So now it's a game to me. Now I'm trying to get every dollar that I possibly can to get this number up to 250 as fast as humanly possible. What is the interest a month on $250,000? 900 bucks, 4%. What's 250 times 4%? $1,000. Now, I don't want it to go over $250,000 because now it's not protective. So now I have an option. This is where it became like, woe to me. Now I can move it here, right? As you can the interest here. I suggest waiting till after you pay your taxes to do that one, right? Or you can go here and create another one. This is my, I'm not an advisor. I'm not an advisor. This is my Roth IRA for retirement. Build it how you want to. It's your world. I'm just paying rent. Build this how you want to. I'm just telling you, this is how Mark King's doing it. I copied it, and in the last couple months, it is staggering how. Now, here's another one that I'm going to throw in on you. Has anybody ever read The Richest Man in Babylon? If you have not, buy this book now. Like, I don't care if you do it while I'm talking, buy this book. What it says in there is 10% first of every money goes to who? Yes, let's tithe. For those of you who may not believe in tithing, where does your 10% go? Who do you pay first? Somebody say it. Somebody about said it. Yourself. So what I'm doing is tithing, but also that 10%, no matter what, I'm immediately putting in there. I have debt in my life. The next 20% of every dime that goes in there goes to my debt. So now I'm not paying things as bills come up. All this money, every time something comes in there, and it could be employment check, it could be from Keller Williams, it could be a referral check from a house that I referred out, it could be my bonus, it could be whatever goes in my taxes, it could be anything that goes into this account. As soon as it hits, I pay myself first and I pay my debt second, and then everything else stays in here up until $10,000. Everything over $10,000 goes there. Does that make sense? What you'll find is over time, as this starts accruing and you get to that point, he said it is shocking how fast, if you do this model, it is shocking how fast you will become $250,000 liquid. Compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Yeah. But the coolest thing to me is the interest, number one, from here, it starts funding things here. So now I'm not saying sell less houses, but what is cool is somebody else's money that they're paying you is funding the bucket that funds the other buckets without you selling houses. Is that not like woe to anybody else? And it doesn't take long. You get this thing accrued up to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, and you get a month or two ahead, you're buying yourself, like now you're starting to build wealth, right? Don't forget this. Simultaneously, without me even thinking about it, just happened this morning. I had a substantial deposit come into my account. First thing I did is move 10% here and 20% to debt. I don't even think about it if I get a deposit for $28,000 or if I get a deposit for $1,200. It's 10% first, 20% second, and the rest stays in the checking. If it's over 10,000, I move it to here. It's just become this game. And the debt, how fast my debt is going down and how fast my net worth is going up is nuts by playing this game. Yeah.
Yeah, just a few things like on the tax, the government has salaries, I already know quarterly what I'm gonna pay minus. You take a distribution unless you get a large pay. Business expenses, you have those every month filing, you should write those off of your income, deducting that. On your fifth bucket, I would definitely, I don't know, I've never read the lending club, but any Roth or SEP RA is gonna crush 4% from 8 to 10%. But you can't touch it.
I agree with that. And that's the exact point of it. If Cindy, that's
5 years ago for you. Isn't it?
that, wow. That was terrible. Say sorry.
Come on, Joe Don.
Look,
It's good turn.
here's the exact, hold on. Here's the exact point of what you just said is if this bucket is called an investment account. If Cindy says, puts on the group Facebook and says, there's a house coming available for $112,000 and it's in fantastic shape. What am I going to do? I'm going to write a check out of this account for $112,000. And I'm going to have another investment property.
Yeah, that's long-term.
Now, what else am I going to do? Whatever you want to do. So now when I'm receiving income from that rental that I bought out of this account, where's it going?
That's an investment.
It's going back in here, right? So now everything that we're doing, it's all funneling together and it's funding itself. You see what I'm saying? So now what is my new game? Now I've got to get this back called up to 250. See what I'm saying? It's this constant game. No doubt. That is this is if you do not have a personal budget, this, yeah. Listen, I'm a big fan of in certain areas of Dave Ramsey's teaching.
His budget.
And he's doing a lot more stuff. He's doing a lot more stuff now. We were just talking about it earlier before everybody came in here. Dave Ramsey does a lot of getting you back to square one. He doesn't teach you a lot about, he's doing more now about building wealth, but previously all he did was like how to not be broke anymore instead of how to build wealth. It's where they are.
Well, the key is you gotta know what your freedom is. What do you need each month to cover? And then you make that money where you're not doing anything.
And that's the last point. When you create that personal budget and then you create your business budget and you combine it together, now you know how to attack your business to fund this. See what I'm saying? What a lot of people do, they're going, I wonder how many houses am I going to sell this year? I don't know. I'm shooting for 30. But it's like, what's the number? Well, I'm going to try to do 30, but why? Do you have to do 30 or you just want to do 30? Like, what do you have to do and what are you shooting for and want to do? Those are two very different things. Does that make sense? I need to make $65,000, $70,000 a year. I want to make $225,000, $250,000 a year. You see the difference? It makes it easy. And I don't know how this works. It's like the law of money somehow. But when you start doing this and you see this grow and you see it growing rapidly and you see your debt going, raise your hand if you have debt of any kind. Okay. Okay. So when you see this growing and you see this little added part from the richest man in Babylon that I threw in there, when you see those things working simultaneously, bless him. working simultaneously together, it's so exciting to know, like, things start happening in your life, more money starts coming to you and you don't even know where it's coming from. And it's not just these accounts. You start getting more listings, more people start calling you. When you start doing the right things with money, you start getting honored with more of it.
Because when you.
I'll preach on that.
Because God has, or whoever you believe has provided you that, and you can manage it appropriately, He will continue to provide it to you in abundance, because you're doing the right things with it.
Take one down, pass it around. This is just an overall, this is just a summary of these 5 accounts. But yeah, the most eye-opening part of it as well is like in a matter of 30 days, I've had more money come into this account. I've cut out certain expenses that are unnecessary on purpose because of the game of wanting to see this get bigger faster. And that's the game. Because right now I cannot write a check for a house if I want it. And that's my game. That might not be your game, but that's going to be my game, right?
Yeah, boy.
All right. If you want help, but also too, don't forget what Ethiel said, and we talked about earlier. If you don't have personal budget or a business budget, sit down with somebody. I'll do it with you. I don't care. Just Ethiel, if you want Ethiel can do another class on it, whatever, but that's step number 1. You don't have to.
Every time I talk to her, it does not even matter what it is. Look, have you done today? How many hours? I want to make sure you have a statement as a real estate agent. Okay, more than normal. That's good. That's because you have to start with what you know. Got a dream job and they're gonna offer you $100,000. But it costs you $110,000 to live. You're gonna have to do one of 2 things. You're gonna have to cut your personal budget, or you're gonna have to pick up a second job to fund your life. So which do you prefer?
If I could highly encourage these, if you want to write these down or take a picture, you can. The Richest Man in Babylon. I'd finished it 2 days ago, and it is probably the most influential book on how I think about money that I've ever read in my life. Richest Man in Babylon. The second one is The Millionaire Next Door. Fantastic book, because what it shows you is that 85% of millionaires in the United States inherited nothing. They created it. And like 75% of them did it with household combined incomes of $75,000 or less. Yeah, and then what? And this one's The Intentional Legacy. Finished this one last week. I'd say as an overall book, this is probably top 3 books I've ever read. This, not The Intentional Legacy by David McAlvany. This one says, it talks about money and generational wealth and how to pass it on, but it also talks about how your kids need to be acting before you decide to pass it on. And it gives you the whole scope of creating it for yourself, but also teaches you how to pass it along. So, questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
You could be a profitable owner, but I just want to say you are intentional about growing each and every agent. And I like that. So Bucket Field,
Thank you. It'll just be really cool. So I'll be open and transparent here. So like last year, at the end of the year, after everything was paid, all expenses, everybody's done, we were paid, y'all were paid, everybody was paid. The Market Center profited somewhere around $350,000. Yay, cool. What I want to see it do is through things like this and people getting intentional about money. And when you get intentional about this, you'll start getting intentional about your business that goes into this. And once that happens, we're going to become $1 million profit Market Center. And that's what I want to do. I want $1 million profit Market Center. It's not just about hiring 1 million agents. That's not what I'm about. 10 people we cut off the roster last week. The number of agents on the roster is not the most important to me. It's the profitability of the people that are here and that are working. That's my number one goal. Yes, I have to hire new agents. Yes, I'm recruiting. I hired a $55 million agent in Raleigh. That is fantastic for my profit share, right? But my number one intention is to get the people here smarter with their money that's coming in. It creates stickability and it makes you want to work harder because you've created this game of trying to get up to 250. And once you get to 250, it'll shock you how fast you can become a millionaire. Like shocking. Anything else? I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry I went over. Love you too.